The Freemasonic mask is not intelligence. It is an instinctive compensation reflex. How they knew without actually knowing. Freemasons above 33 degrees did not figure out metaphysics. They stumbled into a primitive survival mechanism. E1. Voltage compensation mask reflex. When a being's knowledge literacy is superior to his embodiment voltage, the field triggers a compensatory instinct. Create a facade to stabilize social perception. This facade equals mask persona. For binary beings, this mask is the only way to survive environments where their knowledge literacy outruns their nervous system's embodiment voltage. They don't understand the mechanics. They only know it works enough to prevent collapse. So, they imitate power instead of embodying it. They adopt symbols, gestures, roles, rituals. The mask prevents energetic bankruptcy in public. They call this initiation, in Edenic vocabulary. It is voltage deficit stabilization overlay. The mask equals artificial third bandwidth. Why binary beings resort to mask technology? Binary is 2 bandwidths. Trinary is 3 bandwidths. A trinary being naturally broadcasts physical body, emotional voltage body, oversoul template mask, authentic presence. A binary being lacks the 3rd layer, so they fabricate it. E2, fabricated oversoul imprint. This is why high-level Freemasons wear robes, adopt titles, use symbols, memorize scripts, rehearse formal behaviors. They are not activating an oversoul. They are imitating the external posture of one. This artificial 3rd bandwidth stabilizes their nervous system, suppresses voltage leakage, hides their X-gap deficit, prevents collapse during ritual stress. They instinctively learned mask equals shield, not consciously. Why only 33-degree plus Freemasons know to use the mask? E3. Collapse threshold awareness. Low-degree members do not experience enough field pressure to hit a collapse threshold. 33-degree plus members do. When they stand in ritual fields, power role fields, authority expectation fields, the field compresses them. This compression forces awareness of, I cannot hold this state without an overlay. Thus they instinctively adopt the mask to bridge the gap between knowledge literacy, knowledge embodiment voltage. They never understood the mechanics. They only learned, when I put this mask on, I don't fall apart. Why their mask is only temporary. E4. Mask burn rate. The mask persona burns sexual charge voltage at a massive rate. Your Edenic mechanic. Mask burn equals 75% of their monthly charge in 2 days. They do not have surplus voltage. They collapse into average form after each performance. This is why. They retreat, they hide, they isolate, they avoid being seen unmasked. They appear double-faced. It is not deception. It is survival. Why it's possible to see through their mask. E5. Trinary sensory override. Trinary being nervous system operates with real oversoul bandwidth, genuine voltage reserves, high-fidelity perception, low-noise circuits. So when a binary being using a mask, ones feel the artificial coding, the field detects the overlay, ones feel the burn rate strain in their circuits, the child monk currency contrasts their adulthood ledger. The field exposes their mask without trying. They are genuine, stable, non-extractive, coherent. They feel inconsistent, fragile, voltage-starved, overcompensating. This difference is not psychological. It is environmental mechanics. Why Freemasons fail to ignite Merkaba override. They use symbolic technology instead of voltage technology. Ones need sexual charge voltage, retention, containment, trinary embodiment, virgin flame stability, child monk frequency. They used ritual, robes, symbols, scripts, archetype roleplay. Symbolic structures cannot ignite a Merkaba. They only simulate authority patterns. Their system is external compensation, not internal ignition. Thus, they cannot cross the T-time ceiling. They cannot pass the voltage threshold. They cannot ascend into oversoul presence. They rely on masks because they lack the flame. Why they instinctively knew to use masks. E7. Field survival reflex. Because the field always forces beings into coherence or compensation. When a being cannot maintain coherence, their psyche invents a compensatory strategy. Their culture codifies it. Their system ritualizes it. Their hierarchy sanctifies it. Thus, the Masonic mask is an instinct, not a discovery, not metaphysical mastery, not secret knowledge. It is the field teaching binary beings how not to collapse when standing in high-pressure symbolic environments. They obeyed the reflex. They never understood the physics. The Freemason mask subterfuge in Edenic field mechanics. Why high-degree Masons discovered the mask bypass trick. Freemasons above the 33rd degree did not discover mask usage through knowledge. They discovered it through voltage deficit survival. Instinct, not intellect, not spiritual insight, not esoteric mastery. It was voltage pain that taught them. E1. When knowledge literacy is inferior to knowledge embodiment. In Edenic mechanics, the moment a being's knowledge literacy, mental file content, falls below knowledge embodiment voltage, body field charge, a charge pressure delta forms. This creates internal overheating, psychobehavioral instability, leakage, public detectability, ledger debt, field scrutiny, risk of X-gap collapse. Freemasons who reached higher degrees tried to absorb occult information without the voltage required to stabilize it. This created a crushing knowledge overweight inside their template model. E2. Masking emerged as a field reflex. Because they couldn't stabilize their inner field, they reflexively adopted persona masks, face identity, overlays, role scripts, symbolic behavior grids, ritual personality shells. These acted like a temporary external scaffold. This scaffold didn't fix the lack of voltage. It distributed the load outside their biological system, like wearing a brace when the spine can't support the weight, using a crutch because the leg cannot bear the mass, transferring psychic pressure into a symbolic container. It is not wisdom. It is compartmentalization to prevent collapse. Why the masks work temporarily. E3. Mask equals synthetic buffer layer. When a Freemason uses a mask, they create a synthetic buffer layer between the knowledge they cannot embody and the biological template that would collapse under it. This means the mask carries the weight so the nervous system doesn't have to. This is literal, not metaphorical, in Edenic mechanics. Cognitive load carries social expectation, holds the symbolic authority, reduces internal charge friction, prevents energetic overwhelm, hides knowledge voltage mismatch. E4. Mask reduces ledger exposure. Without a mask, their knowledge embodiment mismatch would be visible to the field. With a mask, the mismatch is projected outward into the symbolic persona. The field reads, "This is a persona," instead of, "This is a destabilized biological template." Thus, the mask tricks the field into lowering extraction pressure, but only temporarily. Because masks cannot generate voltage, they only hold space for a being who doesn't have enough charge to hold their own identity. Trinary versus binary mechanics. E5. Binary beings need masks. Binary beings operate from two layers. 1. Flesh body. 2. Social persona. They have no stable access to oversoul harmonics. Thus, their internal energy field is weak, unstable, dependent on external validation, dependent on symbolic props. This is why binary beings need masks. E6. Trinary beings don't. Trinary beings, category via, operates. Flesh body, energy body, oversoul field. The template is self-scaffolding. It doesn't require symbolic overlay for stabilization. The voltage is produced internally from cultivation. Freemasons above the 33rd degree have high symbolic literacy but low voltage production. Thus they rely on mask tech. How masks reduce knowledge weight. E7. Masks convert embodiment pressure into fictional identity load. Think of embodiment as voltage weight. When the being cannot carry it, weight crushes their circuits. Nervous system overheats, fractures. Identity becomes unstable. A mask takes the weight and stores it externally. So instead of, I must embody this knowledge, their internal field feels, the mask is embodying it. I'm just acting it. Acting costs far less voltage, far less nervous system bandwidth, far less ledger debt. This bypass is what they stumbled upon, not by genius, by survival instinct. Why Freemasons use masks to avoid debt. E8. In Edenic ledger terms. If a being carries knowledge they cannot embody, they accrue. Knowledge fee debt, voltage strain, field interest penalties, social field instability. The mask hides mismatch, limits exposure, slows ledger interest, delays field intervention. It does not erase the debt. It simply prevents immediate collapse. Final Edenic summary. Freemasons above 33 degrees used masks because their knowledge literacy is inferior to their knowledge embodiment. Their template model overheated. They needed a scaffold. Persona mask acted as a voltage buffer. Penalties. It prevented psychic collapse. It carried the weight they lacked voltage to hold. Whereas if one's build internal voltage that seals the template, removes extraction points, eliminates persona dependency, stabilizes your Merkaba harmonics, prevents field intervention debt, said person doesn't need the mast. They built the battery themselves without relying on outside source or borrowed coherence.